Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano catch-up where every Friday I look back at the main news, items, events within the Cardano ecosystem that caught my eye this week. So another successful hard fork this week for Cardano. Contingent staking discussions rage on. There was some World Mobile updates, there's some DeFi protocol updates, a few other bits there as well. I will put timestamps below. Subscribe if you're new, share it out if you think others can benefit, and comment and like. I really do appreciate it. Let's jump into it. So a quick look at the videos that went out on the channel this week because they're the first topics. So Djed and SHEN, I had Shahaf Bargeffen back on the channel this week to talk about what's next for Djed and SHEN now that they've went live. I got to ask him about the fees and the minimums, which people had some issues with. Both will be reduced over time. Talked about the SHEN airdrop. So if you hold SHEN, then you get airdrops of Aada roughly every 20 days, and that's from the Aada sitting in the reserve being staked, and then the rewards are going to be airdropped to SHEN holders. That one should happen next week, should be the first airdrop for that. And they have worked something out with dexes where if you hold your SHEN on a dex in liquidity positions, then you will be able to get the airdrop as well. But we talk about that throughout the video and the roadmap and what's next. We also go on to talk about COTI, and he gives us the big three things coming for COTI this year. So make sure you check that one out if you're interested in more details around SHEN, Djed and COTI as well. Impact on Cardano staking. So this one was looking at my summary of what happened with Kraken, the SEC. We talked about it in last week's weekly catch up as well, but I went deeper into it there and got into contingent staking, which has been a hotly contested topic within the Cardano community this week, as well as the SEC telling Paxos that they can't mint any more BUSD anymore. So that means the Binance stablecoin, over time, that's going to fade away, and funds are being redeemed at Paxos right now. From everything we've seen, it is fully backed. There's no issues there. So that's why it didn't have a massive impact on the markets right now. We talked a lot about that as well in the live stream on Wednesday night. We had the usual live stream it's on every Wednesday, 9 p.m. UTC. It's great to see more people coming in and getting involved in the live chat. I know people can't always get in there, so I've started to put timestamps the day after. I go back in and put timestamps for anyone who wants to watch it back and watch certain sections. And we're trying to nail down the time as well. You can see some of these going over 2 hours. We're trying to bring it that it will be around an hour with a hard cutoff at an hour and a half. This one was just under the hour and a half. We had Army of Spies back on this week as well. Great conversations in around all of that. Contingent staking, the hard fork, which I'll talk about in a minute, and a few other bits as well around the SEC and thoughts, and community got involved with lots of questions there as well. So next up then is the hard fork. So we had another successful hard fork for Cardano this week, and again we talked about this on Wednesday night that maybe a hard fork isn't the right name for it, because when you come from another chain, then hard fork is usually seen as potential issues, that there could be a split in the chain, there could be multiple tokens. But within Cardano, anyone who's been here for a while knows that a hard fork is just basically an upgrade on the chain where nodes and everything have to be upgraded, but there's never any risk of a split in the chain or anything like that. And so far, everyone that I've seen just runs smoothly. The hard fork happens, the chain keeps going, blocks keep getting minted, and there's no issues at all. So you can see here, this one was all about interoperability. So as more dApps are built on Cardano, it's essential they are not siloed to just one ecosystem. So this was to help people who are building cross-chain applications that can interact with Cardano a lot easier. If they're building on Cardano, then they want to do something cross-chain, then they've brought in some new primitives that make that a lot easier, make the signing process a lot easier for developers. We've covered the more details on it before, but there is a link to it there, anyone who wants to check it out and hasn't seen it yet. Then on to World Mobile, who have onboarded their first B2C paying customers. So they have previously onboarded B2B customers or B2B paying customers, which are business to business customers. These are businesses in Zanzibar signing up and being paying customers. Now they have signed up their first paying customers, just normal everyday people signing up to use the service. It's a great step to see that they are at this point now as well. If you look at WMT scan here, which is where you can keep up to date on the latest network action, you can see still sitting at 247 air nodes in Zanzibar. Network consumption, if you do watch this fairly regularly, you'll see that this has definitely taken a bit of a jump lately. It's good to see. And unique users up to 25,000 in the last 24 hours as well. I know in a recent AMA, they said they will be adding some stats to this about paying customers and what the breakdown is. So I'm looking forward to seeing that type of stuff coming in here as well. On the testnet as well, public testnet is up and running now. There's more Earth node operators being brought onto it all the time. You can see this is an explorer that Paddy from Shamrock SafePool built and put together. Gives you an overview of what's going on. Currently, there's 25 active validators out of 43. The validators are the Earth node operators, or the equivalent of SPOs in Cardano. So you can see down here, these are the latest blocks. You can see the latest block was actually done by my node running on the testnet. And you see there, they come in roughly every 5 seconds, which is quicker than blocks on Cardano. You can see the average time is 5.78 seconds. I was part of the private testnet as well, and the process to install on the public testnet definitely got a lot easier. So it'll be great to see how this progresses, and hopefully we'll get some indication fairly soon on when we might see this going live on mainnet. So next up is DeFi protocols. We look at Liqwid Finance. It is back online now. No user funds were lost in the downtime or the vulnerability that was discovered. It was all discovered and fixed before any issues happened. Lucky enough, you can see the auditors have completed the code review and the fix, and have completed additional review of the on-chain code base. They're all happy with that. We are going to get a post-mortem on this. You can see here a post-mortem detailing this security vulnerability will be released. So that's always good to see. It's good to see these things come out, because it means that any other dApps building can be aware of these and make sure they don't hit the same thing as well. In terms of the platform, you can see it's back up and running here. We still only have Aada as the option to supply or to borrow, but hopefully fairly soon we'll see some additional assets added to it there. You can see another announcement by Liqwid here is the Djed market on preview testnet is coming, or is incoming. So that was posted 2 days ago. So maybe by next week's weekly catch up, I'll be able to talk about Djed and other options there. And when we start to get them, I'll include videos like that in the DeFi series I'm working on. In terms of other protocols, another lending and borrowing platform, Aada Finance, which started out as a peer-to-peer lending and borrowing, are going to be adding pooled lending as well. So Liqwid Finance would class as pooled lending, and Aada have a good article here on it, talking about the advantages and disadvantages of peer-to-peer versus pooled. On a high level, pooled funding with Liqwid Finance or any other platform, Aada, when they have it live as well, is where all the assets go into one pool, and it's the pool decides the lending and borrowing rates. They are variable rates that they're constantly changing depending on the supply and demand. With peer-to-peer, this is one-to-one. So I put up the details of what I'm willing to accept for a loan. So say I have Aada and I'm willing to lend it out to someone, and they can put up collateral in MinSwap. So I set the terms on it, what interest rate I want, what the length of the term I want. So sometimes it's not as easy to get instant access to a loan, because there mightn't be one that matches the criteria that you're looking for, where with pooled lending you can always take the loan. The rates just are variable and they can move up and down, so you need to keep an eye on what they are. Another protocol with updates this week was MuesliSwap. So they have added their first concentrated liquidity pool, and this is for Djed and IUSD. So concentrated liquidity works different to your standard AMM, which we have so far with MinSwap and with SundaeSwap, Wingriders. They're standard AMM dexes. Concentrated liquidity is a bit different, where you can decide where you want your liquidity to be traded, but I'll break down the differences in them when I get into the DeFi series as well. And you can see here, the first one is on Djed and IUSD. I'm looking forward to seeing them roll this out across other pairs as well, especially pairs that will be a lot more volatile than Djed and IUSD. Another update, they talked here about how MuesliSwap now processes transactions in the order book, usually within one block. So when you submit, then your order is done within one block, which is good. Then they add this bit about, we're working on something to get your order processed in the same block as you place it. So I presume this is only for the order book. So if there is an order sitting in the order book and you're putting in your request on that order, so say there's a sell order, you're putting in you're willing to buy, that when you submit your buy order, it is all within that one block that the order gets executed and you get your funds back. Would be a really nice feature. It would mean very quickly settled transactions for swaps. I don't know if we can ever get to the stage of doing that on AMM dexes where you have your market orders. Probably can't, but it's good to see a step up here for the order book system as well, which we might see other dexes rolling out with similar models in the future. Next up, we have IOG with an initiative that I think is very good, and this is setting up working groups where they're looking to bring experts and committed community members together within different sectors to try and find out what the community needs in different areas. The first ones are developer experience, certifications, interoperability, and stablecoins. So there is a forum there for anyone who wants to become a part of one of these groups. It means the discussion groups happen, you can figure out what's needed in these different areas, and IOG will be a part of it, listening and trying to implement what the groups feel is needed within Cardano. So really good step here, I think, to finding out what's needed deep down, because sometimes when IOG are at a higher level, they're not looking deep down what is needed by the individual dApps or the individual developers. So it's great to see an initiative like this. So Midnight as well, the sidechain for Cardano that was mentioned at IO Scotfest last year. This will be the privacy sidechain. They're looking to hire cryptography engineers. So I'll put a link to this profile down below if you want to DM, if you feel you are qualified for it, to get involved. It's good to see they're pushing forward with this, and I'm looking forward to hearing more information on what comes out of about this and what kind of timelines we might be looking at to getting this live. We also see the Cardano Foundation has expanded their executive team this week with a new chief operating officer and chief legal officer. So we see Andreas and Dr. Nicholas joining the Cardano Foundation. So great to see they are continually growing. And on the legal side, looks like there's a lot of really good experience coming in there. When you look at what's going on with the SEC and regulation, that type of experience is definitely going to be needed. Something else to highlight then is taptools put this out here, looking for project creators to submit their circulating supply into this GitHub here, or a way for them to be able to pull the circulating supply of each project. This is important because when you look at taptools right now, what happens is the total market cap is by the total number of tokens for that project multiplied by the price. And that's what they're showing here as the overall valuation for the project. But when you look at something like CoinMarketCap, which most of us will be more familiar with, then the market cap here is done by the circulating supply multiplied by the price. So circulating supply is how many of that token is actually in circulation right now, which is the true value of the project, rather than the actual, what is the fully diluted market cap of the project. So what is the total number of tokens that can ever be in circulation, even if with some projects it could be 20-30 years before they all come into circulation. So it would be great to see them getting added in here. And I have a new video that I'm going to start doing every Monday, looking here, kind of going down through the different native assets on Cardano, look at what's going on with them and try and dive a bit deeper into some of them. I'll try and make that a regular Monday show for people who are interested in kind of looking more at the markets and stuff like that. On the US regulation side, we see another action there as well, where the SEC has charged Terraform and CEO Do Kwon with defrauding investors and crypto schemes. So that's another one that will be interesting to keep an eye on and see what comes out of that, with potential implications for other tokens or coins being classed as securities. But it's very early days in it just yet. There is people doing breakdowns of what the actual letter is and the potential implications of it, but we'll have to wait a while to see how that breaks down. Hope you guys got value from the video. If you did, please do share it out, give the video a like, comment. They all really help people find the videos. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you soon.